All right, let's go ahead and start resting on the back. Especially at this time, I find we need this transition away from our day and distractions and into a place of a little more stillness and quiet. So just take a few moments to find where you're most comfortable, allowing your shoulders to come away from your ears, resting them towards the ground and positioning your arms in any way that lets you soften into your shoulders and out into your fingers. And feel the length of your legs resting. So I have a bolster under my legs to bring a little more length into my lower back. You can also just stretch your legs straight out or have your knees bent, feet on the floor. So at any time, feel free to shift as you become aware of any areas of discomfort. You can close your eyes, let go of any visual distractions. And as you're hearing the sounds around you, try to become more aware of your body and your breath. So notice the nature of your breath as it is in this moment. No need to force the breath to be deep or long. And instead, just follow its movements. Be aware of your inhale. Feel the breath as it flows into your body. And be aware of your exhale. Feel the breath as it leaves your body. And you may notice that your breath feels a little quick or a little shallow, a little short. Little by little, as you pay attention, as you continue to follow its movements and allow your body to relax, you'll notice the breath start to change. As you come across any areas of holding around your belly, or up into your chest, or even your throat. Try to soften those areas. The more you can relax through the belly, through the neck, through the chest, the deeper and slower the breath will become. So feel the gentle sense of expansion with each inhale. And then allow each exhale to bring more softness through your whole body. And with each exhale, can you feel the back of your body settling and resting further down into the support of the ground? So let's be present here for a few more cycles of breath, aware of your body, resting. As you follow the path of movement each breath takes, as it flows in and as it flows out. And then little by little, start to reawaken your body. So bring some gentle movement into the fingers and into the toes. Opening and closing the hands, spreading and curling the toes. And then start to move into the wrists and the ankles. You can let the eyes open. And then whenever you feel ready, let's go for a big stretch. Stretch back with the arms, find some length down through the legs. Loosen into the neck, maybe a gentle nod of your head side to side. All right, so if you still have any bolster or something underneath your legs, set it aside and let's have the legs stretched along the floor, maybe a little wider apart now. So maybe shoulder distance apart, maybe even a tiny bit more, just wherever you naturally want to be. And have your arms in a V shape out from your shoulders along the ground. And just while you're here, feel your breath moving into the center of your body. And with each exhale, can you sense some length radiating out from that center, long out through the limbs, through the neck as well. So the neck is part of the spine. Let it feel some length. And then again on the inhale, just relax everything. Let the breath move in. From the center as you exhale, can you lengthen through the limbs and through the ends of your spine, tailbone and head. And one more time like that. Nice. And then let's go for a side bend in each direction. So we're going to take the right hand over towards the left hand, and you can slide your upper body a little more to the left. That's it. So you may have to move your head a little bit, and then take your right leg to meet your left leg. So you find a bit of stretch here through the right side a little more. You're still on your back, so both shoulders, both hips are on the ground. If it helps to interlace the fingers, feel free to do that. See if you can feel a full, slow breath into the right side. Maybe getting longer with your exhale. Good. As you breathe in again, come back into that sort of starfish shape. Legs and arms a little wider, spine in the center. Find a nice deep inhale into the belly. And with your exhale, just lengthen again out from that center, through the limbs, through the spine, tailbone reaching away from the head. That's it. And then with that, let's take the side bend to the other side. Left hand over to the right. You might arc your upper body a little more to the right, moving through the head and shoulders slightly. That's it. And then take the left leg to meet the right leg. So we've got a nice crescent moon shape through the body as we try to rest back into the left side, left shoulder, left hip. And notice the breath into that space. Good. As you breathe in again, let's come back to that open starfish shape. And here as you exhale, let's go ahead and maybe we'll start by just bending the right knee and then the left knee, bringing the hands to the knees, hugging them in. And then with your inhale, stretch through the right leg long as your arms go back, left leg goes long. Feel the inhale. And then as you exhale, lead with your left knee in. Right knee in, hands to knees hugging towards you. Inhale, left leg long, right leg long as the arms stretch back. So you can keep it going like that for a couple more times, alternating the leg you lead with into the movement. Feeling that inhale as you find that stretch out from center, and then feel the exhale as you draw back in towards center. You can also do both legs at once if that feels comfortable in your back. It's going to work into the core a little more, so just do what is feeling good for you today. Feeling free to just slide your heels along your mat or along the ground. Knees can stay wide or stay together, or really explore this for yourself. If it feels good to lift your head when you draw your knees in, sort of curling up into a ball, you can try that as well. Let's go for just 2 more. Nice. And then with your next exhale, when you're hugging your knees in, we can just rest the head back to the floor if you've lifted it and start to do a gentle rock from side to side. So we can get a sense of how it feels in the lower back today as we massage into that space. That's it. Nice. All right, and then let's go ahead and roll all the way over onto the right side. So we're going to keep the knees bent and rest on this right side. And if your head doesn't comfortably get to the ground, you can bring a pillow underneath it. Okay? The idea is to try to feel the head in contact with support the entire time as we're here. So if it's not comfortable getting to the floor, bring something to it. All right, so let's just keep the knees stacked one over the other as we're just resting on our side for a moment. See if you can get quite relaxed and sort of heavy into the floor through that right side, just trying to soften. And as we do our best to keep this top arm, the left arm, quite relaxed, let's draw a big circle with the arm. So start to slide your fingers along the floor and see if you can keep your hand as close to the ground as you can manage, so this elbow can be bent as you circle the arm back. We're going to rotate through the upper body as we keep the circle going down. So try to brush the ground as much as your shoulder lets you, and then rolling again onto that right side as you draw the circle again around you. Along the floor as close to the ground as is comfortable in your shoulder. So you're going to notice some tight spots, more likely in that left shoulder, chest area. We can also reverse the direction of the movement, going circling in the opposite way. Stay nice and loose through your upper body. Head stays heavy. It's going to gently roll as you're moving, turning in and out of this twist. And then whenever you feel ready to go ahead and try to land into this twist, really any way you like, we can roll our upper body to the left, turning our head a little in that direction while the knees stay resting out and down onto the floor. So feel free to shift as you need to find the support of the ground across your upper back. So that way you can relax out into your left arm. As your head relaxes to the left, feel like that left ear just gets heavier as it melts closer to the ground. You're not pushing it there, you're just letting it go. Where does your breath move here? Pay attention to feel the inhale and then feel the exhale. So as you kind of keep resting here through the left side, left shoulder, let's see if we can feel some length through that whole left side from the shoulder to the heel. So stretch through the knee, that top knee, to where it's a comfortable stretch for you in your legs. So your knee might stay a little bent, but keep some length through the heel as you spread your toes back towards you. Almost feeling like your heel and your shoulder on the left side are stretching away from one another. Notice where the breath moves here. Where do you sense some stretch or resistance? Ease up if you need to in order to keep the breath flowing freely. Really nice. As you exhale, let's go ahead and bend that knee again. And we can unwind onto the back. So for some people, you just feel comfortable going straight onto your back. For others, you're more comfortable coming onto your side again and then onto your back. So you can explore a couple different ways of moving in and out of that position. So come onto your back again. Feel free to do some rocks once more. And then take it over to the other side. So you're going to come over onto your left side this time. And again, this side could feel a little different in the neck. I find this side's a little tighter for me, and I might be more comfortable with a bit of a pillow under the head. So as you're resting here on your side, just try to relax. Feel the weight of the ground, and settle into it. Let the weight of the head rest. Let the knees stack in front of you, relaxing the legs. Now we can start to draw a circle now with the right arm, right fingers, brushing the ground as close as they can stay as you circle the arm back. Open out to the right. Feel the twist come into the upper back and keep the circle going. Nice and slowly at a pace that makes you aware of any tight or tender spots you're noticing around the chest and armpit area. Maybe even into, of course, the mid-back as we take it into this twist. You can explore the movement in the opposite direction as well. Trying to relax through the elbow, let it be a little bent, to bring the fingers as close to the ground as you can stay with them, just to open up a little more into that shoulder and chest area. Nice. Head is heavy as it rolls, following the twisting motion of your spine. So now let's land into the twist, opening our chest towards the ceiling, turning our head to the right. And yeah, at this point, if you still have sort of a pillow or something under your head, you probably don't need it anymore. So the idea is to try to feel the ground through the upper back and let the head be at the same level as the rest of the spine. Of course, if you find that really uncomfortable, take as small of a pillow as you can under the head. Relax and rest again. The weight of that right ear this time towards the floor. Notice the space from the right hip to the right shoulder. And can you feel the breath moving into that space? That's it. Aware of the inhale and aware of the exhale. So let's continue the length through the right side, keeping the knees stacked, the hips stacked. You're just going to slowly stretch that right leg until you feel a comfortable stretch coming into the back of that leg. So knee can stay bent. Feel your heel still reaching away as your right shoulder continues to settle back to the floor. That's it. Be present with the depth of your inhale and stay with the length of your exhale. Lovely. Let's bend the knee again and unwind as you see fit onto your back once more. All right, let's bring the feet to the ground. So we've got the knees bent, feet probably somewhere underneath your knees. You could go a little wider or a little narrower, whatever lets you feel the support of your feet. We're going to explore pelvic tilt movements with the breath, before we start to move the hips up and down into bridge through those pelvic tilts. So for now, we're going to keep the hips on the ground, and you can just rest your arms in a way that lets your shoulders kind of move down away from the ears again. You might even lift and slide the shoulder blades down as you relax the arms beside you. Either like a T or a V shape, anything goes. So let's just draw the awareness now down into the belly and into the lower back. So that whole circumference of your waist area down to the pelvic floor, really, the whole pelvis area as well. So just notice the rise of your belly with your inhale. And feel how the belly settles again with your exhale. And little by little, start to find the pelvis rocking with the rhythm of your breath. So with each inhale, as your belly expands, your tailbone tips down into the floor, lower back arches slightly away from the ground. And with each exhale, as your belly rests back in, feel your tailbone curling away from the floor without lifting the sacrum. So you want to press the lower back into the mat. Can you feel as your pelvis moves to the rhythm of your breath, how your feet might also support this movement? So with each inhale, as your belly expands, as you're rocking your pelvis forward, there's a little less weight in your feet, more weight down into your tailbone. And then as you exhale, when you're rocking the pelvis back, you can press very slightly into the feet. Not enough to lift the hips just yet, but enough to feel the lower back pressing into the ground a little more. See if you can explore that for another full cycle. And then we're going to move a little more with each exhale. We're going to lift and lower in and out of bridge on each exhale. So when you're ready, as you exhale again to flatten your lower back and pressing into your feet, let's continue to press into the feet and let the hips rise up. Let the spine peel away from the floor, from the bottom to the top. So you land in your bridge pose. Feel your inhale here. And then let the whole length of your exhale roll you back down, rolling your spine down from top to bottom. So find those back ribs resting before your lower back, before your sacrum. And then as you inhale, let the tailbone point down again, lower back arching in that pelvic tilt. You got it. And with your exhale, peel the spine up, lifting your tailbone first. Sacrum, low back, back ribs, pushing into the feet to find the support to lift with the inhale, pause. And then let the exhale roll you back down again. So try that maybe once or twice more at your own speed, moving up and down with each exhale. And feeling the undulations moving like gentle waves through your spine from top to bottom. So the next time you raise your hips into bridge, let's go ahead and hold bridge. So while you're here in bridge, notice if you're pushing up with your lower ribs. You might even take your hands to rest on the fronts of your lower ribs and just remind them to just rest in towards the spine a little more. so that you can push down just a tiny bit more down through those heels and feel your pubic bone lift more. Feel your glutes engage a little more. That's it. So ideally, we're trying to keep some length into the lower back. And then we can bring the arms into it. We can press down through the arms, through the palms into the floor. And try to free up the neck away from the shoulders. As you're pressing down through the arms, feel the width come through the upper chest, across the collarbones, breastbone. Can you stay with that steady, slow breath for another cycle? You got it. And then when you're ready to roll down, take your time once again, taking it as slowly as you can to really get a sense of each vertebra landing as best you can feel. Yeah, you can do it over several breaths as you slow it down. Once you're on the ground, just take a moment. Find a full deep breath, slow and steady. You might take your arms more like a T shape out beside you, palms up, and then walk your feet wider now, so even mat width apart. So let's move slowly again with each breath into windshield wiper movements. So find your inhale in the center. And then let the length of your exhale bring your knees to the right as your head rolls to the left. That's it. And feel as you inhale, coming back up through center, nice and slowly. Let the whole length of your exhale bring your knees over to the left, head to the right. So as you continue this at your own pace, feel the weight shifting across your sacrum from hip to hip. Feel the head heavy as it rolls. Lots of length and softness in the neck. You might notice a sense of, well, just difference in each side. When your knees go to one side versus the other, how does each hip feel? And then when you've gone to the left for the last time with your knees, come back to center again. All right, let's hug both knees back in, and we'll just find again a little bit of movement if you're wanting a rock side to side, or maybe a few circles with your knees. In fact, what I'm noticing I want right now, which maybe you want to, is a stretch through the backs of the legs, because all that work with the knees bent. So let's go ahead, if you're comfortable, to stretch through both legs together. You can hold on to your thighs. You can keep the knees a little bent by all means, and just feel the stretch more through the calf. Yeah, through the calves as you're pushing out through the heels. You can do that with the knees staying bent. Nice full breath here. Let's inhale and open up the legs. So we're bringing the legs just comfortably wide, just to get a little more space into those inner thighs for another breath. Feeling free to hold on to the outer legs for support. That's it. All right, and then slowly bringing the legs back together again, bending them, hugging them in. And we'll go ahead and roll over onto whichever side you like, just for a couple breaths there to relax. And then we'll use the hands and come on up into table pose. So this is where you might want a padding, a pillow or blanket underneath your knees. So find the support of both palms underneath your shoulders. And start to find some movement through cat and cow. So let's go for that. As you press down through the hands, start to curl away from the floor. Draw the tailbone down and the head down, but notice how your front lifts away from the ground, rounding and stretching into your back. And then start to let the tailbone and the head lengthen away from one another as they lift away from the floor. So now we're stretching more into the front of the body. So finding that deep flexion through the spine as we round the back, maybe bringing the chin closer to the chest. And then finding a little more extension in the spine as we arch it. Noticing more space come into the front of the body. So noticing just how it feels as you once again try to find and feel the motions through the segments of your spine. Good. Let's come back into more of a neutral spine where the tailbone is pointing straight back and the crown of the head is reaching in front of you as you look maybe just slightly forward of the hands, right? So you want to be aware of the head staying in line with the rest of your spine. And then let's take it into a bit of a side bend. We'll bring the right ear towards the right shoulder and the right shoulder and hip towards each other. So we're shortening that right side waist. And then inhale back through center. Exhale, left ear to shoulder. So you're still looking down as your shoulder and hip move towards each other on that side. So breathing in, finding center. With the exhale, shorten into that right side again as you feel maybe a stretch in the left side. How does it feel to move the spine in this sideways motion? Could feel quite different in each direction. And then we can bring those two movements together, where we're the flexion and extension and the side bending. So side bend to the right, and then round your spine through flexion. So your head and tail move towards the floor, and then side bend to the left. That's it. And then keep it going as you arch your back through dog tilt or extension, and then side bend to the right again and round through cat tilt. Side bend to the left and open into that cow-shaped dog tilt extension, and just keep it going in that direction until it starts to feel a little more fluid for you. That's it. Noticing the breath, letting it flow in whatever rhythm makes sense to you as you feel these movements through your spine. So this direction we found, let's find it in the other direction. Side bending to the left, and then we're going to round the spine and side bend to the right, and then arch and extend head and tailbone towards the sky. Side bending left, rounding, flexing the back. Side bending right, extending the spine. Find this direction. Does this direction feel any easier or more awkward for you? Keep finding the support through your arms here. It's quite important to just notice those pillars of support through the arms. If you want to get really free, you can also bend the elbows and let the arms be part of the movement. Nice. All right, let's take the weight off the hands, find child's pose. So feel free to circle out those wrists, or you can even just try to bring the backs of the hands together for a nice gentle stretch into the wrists and forearms. So while we're here, feel the breath moving into the back. We don't often get that opportunity. So notice the backs of your lungs expanding with the inhale. And with each exhale, can you feel the weight of your hips getting heavier towards the heels as the head settles? All right, let's breathe it in and come on back up onto hands and knees. And this time, have your hands a little forward of your shoulders. And we'll curl the toes under and send the hips back and up into downward dog. So we're going to use downward dog as a bit of a transition for now. So let's start out by maybe bringing the feet together. So the big toes touch. That's it. And we're going to stay strong and long, pushing back and down through the left heel while we simply lift the right leg. And it doesn't matter how high it lifts. What matters is you're trying not to move the spine too much, just that right leg. Okay, and then bring that foot back to the floor, right beside the other foot. Stand strong into your right leg. Lift the left leg up. How does this side feel? Really nice. Lower your left leg. As you breathe in, let's lift the right leg again. So stay strong in your left leg. Try to keep your awareness in both legs, right? So your left leg is holding you here while the right leg is lifting high. Then let's go ahead and bend that right knee. Pull the knee in towards your belly and then start to round your back away from the floor as you come forward into this high, weird half plank position. We're going to try to step the right foot forward from there, and it might be quite tricky. You may have to bring your back knee to the floor and step and encourage that right foot to land more between your hands. Okay? All of that is perfectly good. So this is where you may even want a block. So it's always great to have your block handy rather than far away from you for this reason. You can have the block, hand on the block under the shoulder, or you can also make a fist with your left hand just to create a little more lift in your chest. So we've got the back knee down. Let's keep it down. Keep that front knee bent. And we're going to circle this right arm. Let's circle it forward. Let's reach it up. Feel the twist come into the back as we circle the arm down, facing the floor again. So try that. Another full circle. Nice. Next time you let the arm land wherever it's comfortable. Could be up here, could be back here, reaching to the wall behind you or the ceiling above you. There you go. Now let's curl the back toes under. If you want to take it any further, you lift the back leg, back knee, keeping that foot down. You got it. So we're in this deep twist. How does the breath move as you're here? Lovely. With your exhale, let's take the hands back to the floor. That back knee can come to the ground as well. We'll step back, rest in child's pose or downward dog, your choice. How has the breath changed? And can you once again invite the exhales to lengthen as your inhales deepen? And then let's go ahead, slowly come on back up onto table pose. Hands push forward and down, slightly forward of the shoulders. So we can curl the toes under and lift the hips back, up high. Bring the feet together again. Just notice with the feet together, how does that change your downward dog? Settle into one more breath here. And this time we're going to stay strong and long through the right leg. So pushing back and down through that right heel. Let's slowly lift. Get lighter on the left leg. Reaching it up and back. That's it. Try to keep your hips level so you're not lifting that left hip any higher. We're going to bend that left knee and pull it in towards the belly as we round away from the floor. So we're really trying to pull the foot and the knee and the belly away from the ground. And then there's room to step the left foot forward. Okay. Lower the back knee. Right palm to the floor or to a block, or fist to the ground. So we're going to keep a nice deep bend in the front knee. Our hips are forward of our back knee so that we can find a little bit of space in that back hip. And as we do that, let's circle the left arm, reaching it forward, circling it up, going back and down. Nice and slow. And we can pause and land into the twist. So we've got our belly and chest and head turning to the left. This left arm, where is it comfortable on this side? Stay where you are with your back knee on the floor, or curl those back toes under to stretch through the back leg. That's it. Trying your best to keep the hips low while you notice another breath or two. Nice. Breathe it in. Come on back to the ground. Whoo, step it back. Child's pose or downward dog. What do you need? What do you need for your breath to slow and to find a sense of calm again in the body?